I think it's way overdone. But what makes me mad the most is when I used mine to zoom in, I actually found that the moon was made of cheese. Now I'm upset because it's really not. It was all AI. It was all fake.
Right.
It pissed me off. I got real hungry for a little bit. Uh-oh, Sam's coming.
Yeah, hey man. Well, I would have went up there and grabbed
Here we go.
cheese, man.
And I'm going to say this, and this is present company excluded. So, do you honestly think your fucking handheld phone is taking a picture of the moon that's 200,000 fucking miles away? I mean, seriously?
100%.
No telephoto lens, no hardware, no nothing. You're just gonna point your fucking phone to the sky and go, "It's gonna take a great picture, just like a moon." And plus, here's another thing, folks. It's the moon. It's a subject that's been taken. And here's the thing: you're only ever gonna take one side of it. Ever. Yes. You're never gonna take the other side. It's dark because it's tidally locked. Right? It's like it's the same thing. It's like. I don't understand it. And again, it's like it's one of those things where Android users go, iPhone users go, But here's the thing. Apple users like their yellow iPhone. They don't give a shit if it's yellow. It's all the Android people going, well, they're talking about a yellow Android. Can we please stop?
It's always the opposite side that care the most. It's always the opposite side.
It's so predictable now. It's so predictable how people are going to react. You don't even need a text space.
Yeah,
you just don't anymore. It's like you know what's going to happen.
You can guess.
You don't have to. No, it's scientifically proven. If it's if they came out with a yellow Android device, all Apple people go, they're just copying Apple, right? Yeah. And then it's like all the commentary now about anything is so predictable. It's like a thunderstorm.
Yeah.
You know, I'm wondering if this AI camera though is it kind of like beer goggles? You know, if you're zooming in, if you're at a bar far, far away, and you're zooming, man, does it make that person, whether it's a guy or a girl, look, I mean, hey, there's a benefit. I'm just messing. Sorry.
No, I just like I said,
this is what we really need to talk about.
The dark side of the moon, huh?
The dark side of the moon.
Yeah.
Hey.
You know, man, I'm not going to be around. I'm old, so I'm not going to be around long enough when they actually have like commercial flights to the moon. You can like, hey, by the way, we're going to the dark side of the moon. Take a look. Here already, right? Yeah. Maybe other people in the chat. I mean, maybe be alive.
I want sunshots. I want a sunshot next year.
Yeah, I just like I said,
everyone's going to go blind because they're going to be staring at the sun.
It's much to do about nothing, and it's like, come on. I mean, can we just like?
And my thing is like, what is also the difference if the phone is actually enhancing that moon for you, right? What is the difference between you paying for a photographer for family photos and he's enhancing those photos? Like, what is the difference? You have AI doing it or you have someone manually doing it. It doesn't matter. It's getting the results that you want. That's what should matter in the end. Even if Samsung is doing that with AI, which I can see that a lot in the future, a lot of AI is going to be taking over like photography at some point, right? Not saying it's going to completely take it away, but it's going to be, you know, I can tell you right now, being a photographer for about 15 years plus, right? Under Photoshop, I remember having to do skin retouching myself manually. I had to go in here and make different layers, I had to do adjustment layers, all this stuff like that. I literally can hit a button now and it smooths out all the skin. And then I can adjust it how much I want. Like, that's AI right there. Right. So at some point, photography became a lot easier to edit because of the AI features. And phones are building it into the phone, so you don't have to worry about going there and touching it up on YouTube. I mean, Photoshop or Lightroom.
The funny thing is, Dalevon, I remember being in high school in 1992. So
yeah.
And it was a big thing because when they did yearbook photos, the technology had just come out where they could actually kind of like get rid of some acne. So for young teenagers, it was like, holy cow, you can actually, they called it retouching, right? That's what they called it. And it was like, I remember it was like, that was like magic. Like, wait a minute, I can actually take a yearbook photo. I don't look like I got basically hit in the face with like a board of needles.
If it wasn't for AI though, if it wasn't for AI enhanced pictures, I might not be married. So I got to give AI some props. you see this face? Who the hell's going to marry this thing? I mean, come on.
Like, hey, I have no clue.
If you think about,
but I can hook you up anytime. I'll tell you my prices.
Or AI or manual, whatever.
But if you think about all these,
I took this photo. I took this photo, right?
Yeah.
That's my S23 Plus. The background is literally the cover of my MacBook. I took that photo and I saved it to Google Drive, and then I pulled it up on my iPhone and I did the press and hold where you can copy it, and I pasted it into Pixelmator, and there's my thumbnail, right?
Mm-hmm.
Altered background, fake shadow
That's fake.
from an image that was taken with my phone.
Conspiracy.
And that's the thing you can do in like 2 seconds, or like I was Dalevon and I were messaging back and forth a little bit, and I was with one of his photos, I was like, hey, what do you think of this or whatever? I just kind of wanted to. Well, that photo, when I grabbed that from Twitter, I didn't realize it was that high of a resolution that it would actually save at that. But I'm like, I want a little higher resolution so that I can work with some stuff. So I bring it into Pixelmator and I hit one button that says super resolution. And it takes it and enhances it so you have like 10 times the original pixels so you can crop in, right? Or you hit the one button and it's machine learning background removal.
Who's doing
Software
that?
does amazing things.
What software is doing that? Pixelmator? Is that what
Pixelmator.
I have it. Yeah, Pixelmator. It's a
So you need to go on Twitter and blow
Mac-only app or
Pixelmator.
iOS.
You need to go on Twitter and blow them up and say, look, they're making fake photos. It's bull crap.
So
And
it's like,
see what happens.
I can do that stuff with one click. Now, keep in
Start
mind, this
fighting.
is stuff you could do back in the
Might as
day
well come at
with
Adobe.
Photoshopping.
Oh yeah,
And you do
Adobe
color
down.
selection. So
It's funny that you say that because I actually have a before and after photo of tuna.
Yes, please.
It's
true. It's true.
Let me see if I can find it here. I think it's this one right here. This is the
before. It's blank. Oh, okay. That's about true. No. That's about right.
Yeah, so that's the before, and now if you look on screen right now, that's the after. So that's pretty amazing. Yeah, like that's all AI.
It takes my hair off. It's crazy. I thought I have a full head of hair, but it goes away with AI.
I thought the hat was just hiding.
I do have more teeth than that. The teeth counts a little different in that picture.
It's true. That was an older photo.
Right.
What I was going to say is, if you think about a lot of these Chinese smartphone manufacturers, they have that beautify feature, which essentially takes away everything. Wrinkles,
everybody has it right now. iPhone has it. Samsung has it. And Google has it. And I use all three of those phones, so they both all have it, and they have it in like portrait mode as well. It's just now, for you to be able to just enhance you instantly.
I don't remember which smartphone manufacturer it was, but there was one where you could actually physically change the dimensions of different parts of your face, like your lips, your nose.
Well, Mr. Who's the Boss brought that up. If you remember, his video wasn't really damning on on Samsung, but he did bring up like that phone that was like giving him more junk in the trunk and making his waist thinner and making his cheeks thinner. They all do it. We don't care about that because I guess it's because we're physically changing it and actually being able to turn it on and off. What people don't understand is Samsung's scene optimizer can be turned off, and you could take a really crappy picture if you want.
Oh yeah.
But people don't realize that.
Or I turn it off.
Go ahead. Oh, you turn it off?
I just turn it off because I don't like the fact that it does an HDR effect to everything.
Yeah.
So I turn that off, and I just.
And I was going to say on those moonshots,
Botox
you can actually turn those moonshots off. It's just scene optimizer that's doing it.
Exactly.
That's all it is.
Yeah. So I mean,
but you know what's funny?
You're turning the AI on and off. So I don't understand the complaint, man. It's crazy to me. It's really crazy.
But Dalevon, you know what's funny about that scene optimizer? I don't know if you read the description of the scene optimizer. It basically scares people into keeping it on. It says automatically optimize camera settings to make dark scenes look brighter, food look tastier, and landscapes look more vivid.
Okay.
Now, I don't know about you, but to like an average consumer, they might go, well, shit, that sounds good. Yeah, I don't want to turn that off.
Yeah, but when you do camera comparisons, those phones with Samsung usually wins out. The bright, like MKBHD has pointed out multiple times, brighter pictures, crisper pictures, whether it's over sharpened or not, tend to win on social media. Most of these people using these cameras aren't posting them and printing, 5x10 posters with a 200 megapixel camera. They're shooting a 12 megapixel bin. No, they're not. Especially that picture of me. I mean, if you want a picture of me that he just showed, I will autograph them.
Yes.
Limited quantities.
Send them out.
Get those running out. Yeah. But I mean, scene optimizer is not necessarily, it's turned on by default because general consumers want that. They want to have the punchier contrast and the faker greens and brighter blues. That's what it is. If people don't like it, turn it off. Simple as that. Instead of blowing it up on social media.
That's also where the text recognition scan feature is also under the scene optimizer. So if you turn that off, then you lose the whole if you're going to scan documents or being able to like copy text out of it, it doesn't. The OCR gets turned off from that.
So we're going to see a post from
It's so
Darren
funny.
tomorrow that Scene Optimizer is forced upon you. There you go. We got your next post.
There you go. Yeah. No, I mean, it's funny. Like, we got a couple of people in the chat right now just mentioning that, that the clean charging thing's screwing up their iPhone. But yet here we are talking about, a stupid AI being used to help a photo.
I mean, look, bro, you already know. Thanks, Kingdom. Oh, sorry, y'all. I'm on my thing. I gotta holler at my boy, man. Thank you for the donation, bro. Thank you. We gotta talk about that because you already know that Apple don't get, they don't hit the headlines like this unless it's like an article or anything. But when it comes to Twitter and things that's wrong, it's not gonna get blown up by any. And it's only the reason why this is blown up like this is because the YouTubers that are big are behind it too. They're talking about it.
Yes.
So therefore, everyone else is going to talk about it. But when it comes to like Apple, if something is blown up by them, they don't talk about it. And we already know. So like I'm saying, it's getting old now. We already know they have a partnership. They don't want to lose their relationship. So it's expected. But the thing is, I feel like everyone else needs to be a little bit more intelligent about what's really happening or whatever about this situation. But I feel like it's a lot of the people who do not like anything Android. Because look, let's say, as far as what I heard about the Gen 3 Geekbenches, it's supposed to be better than the iPhone's newest chip out, the latest chip out, right? And Apple people don't like that. So when they seen that, they were like, well, the 17, is it the 17 that's coming up? The Bionic 17 or something? Is that the next chip? I think the Bionic 17. Yeah, whatever. 18, 16, whatever. You get the drift. They're like, it's going to blow it away. It's going to do this, but they're talking about something that doesn't even exist yet. But they have early numbers of the Gen 3 Snapdragon right now. And the performance is like, it's finally matching that of Apple's. And they don't like it. They hate that.
Well, did you read the article about Geekbench 6 being paid? Because Android, when the Gen 2 came out, it was pretty good. It was right neck to neck with the 16. And then Geekbench all of a sudden released their next series of benchmarking in the 6. And all of a sudden, the Apple gained like 20% performance in GPU and CPU, and Android gained like 2%. And they're saying, oh, Apple paid them to do that. I don't think that's true, but it does seem kind of interesting how they release these updates as soon as something changes. I'm not trying to be conspiracy theorist, but it just and of course people blow that kind of stuff up online. And you're right, the big tech guys, the tech people out there, grab a hold of it, throw it out to the public, and we all think it's true.
Yeah. Well, not really us, but the ones who are just
right.
I want to say it's more like the
King
people who's biased too.
King buys all this stuff. He believes all that stuff.
King's in our chat, blowing up our chat right now too.
I know he is.
He be going in. Look, bro, I'm glad to have that man in my corner, bro. That man go in. He say the things that I
me too.
Say.
I don't want to piss King off.
I want to say. So, big shout out to my man, bro. But it's real talk though, man. I feel like I mean, we know the reason why they also made videos because the clicking and stuff like that. It makes all sense. I mean, look, YouTube, in the end, YouTube is a business for a lot of people. It's not really a business for me yet because I have my own business. It's something fun for me. If it became a business, then I can understand why they do that and stuff like that. But it's sometimes you got to think about your integrity at the same time because, like, y'all already seen, I didn't watch Max's video, but based off everyone's reaction off Twitter, and whatever MKB said in his video or Mr. Who's the Boss, because I didn't watch one of their 3 Moon videos at all because I don't really care. It's not that this is stupid. This is how stupid it is. I don't care to watch a video on it. But from the comments, man, it seemed like everyone is like, yo, Max just went downhill. His reputation has went bad, and he's Apple trying to, and he calling out MKBHD about this and stuff. And I was just like, wow, like Twitter beef, YouTube beef now, like between YouTubers and stuff, like it's crazy.
Yeah.
So it just
I know
Ice Universe with Ice the leaker. Man, they're killing him too. Like he's terrible. You know what? He's out there getting people responding to him, good or bad. If I post something really negative, people reply back to it. I'm getting engagement, right? Whether it's good or bad, it's engagement. Yeah. But like Dalevon said, at some point, if it's a business for me, I can understand if Apple's throwing me free products, but I'm dogging them all the time, I could potentially lose money there. But it comes back to integrity, and it's a juggle. I'm sure I'm not near that level, as you guys can probably tell. But
let them eat their own. God, it's I
it's
love
fun to watch. Sit back with the popcorn and watch.
I love it. I mean, it's like because remember what they always talk about: bad press is still press.
It is.
Exactly what I said. Yeah.
And negative, and then, like I said, nobody cares about the good stories on TV. It's always news, always on. It's like I say, let them fight it out, because you're essentially fighting over complete bullshit. I mean, at the end of the day, what you're arguing about and what you're actually going toward, what hill you're dying on, is about something that is so not even moving the needle on 95% of the general public. Yep. They don't care right now. They're caring more about banks failing. They're caring more about interest rates going up. They're caring about the fact they don't give a flying fuck about a yellow iPhone.
Yes, I mean, that's exactly.
What are you talking about? The whole world loves yellow iPhones.
When I have two people who are making their careers based on something that's completely, none of these people work at any of these companies. They don't build any of these phones.
Exactly.
They don't do any of the software. They don't build code. They don't write shit.
They don't get paid from that company.
I'm a Chicago Bears fan. I don't get a check from Hallis Hall, right?
Yeah.
You say that now, but Aaron Rodgers just left for the Jets, and the Bears just scooped up a whole bunch of picks and drafts. So the Bears might not be on the shitter for very long. I'm just saying, though. I don't get checks from Hallis Hall. The Bears could lose every game for 10 seasons. I don't care. It's going to bother me, but I mean, it's like...
Yeah, but you got one of these on your team with the Bears.
Right. It's just like...
Hey, look, man, I'm a Cowboy fan. We don't win nothing.
Oh, geez.
I'm just saying.
I'm in the wrong room. I'll see you guys later.
But I mean, at the end of the day, it's like I read all these comments, and I mean, I try to stay off of Twitter just because I don't generally engage in it because I have a full-time job and a life. Most of the time.
Don't talk about me, bro. Don't talk about me.
Well, I'm talking about people who want to go to war over. Again, if you work for Apple and you were part of their R&D division and you want to go to war on this or explain the business justification for why they're doing what they're doing, go for it. Rock yourself out.
Right.
But you're sitting there. It's like two fucking fans fighting at a football stadium. It's like,
that's exactly what it is.
Exactly. You're right.
Part of either team. So who cares? At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. It's if you want to fight for that. And I mean, but if you're going to get pissed off to the point where you got to rage quit and throw your controller down and take your ball and go home, you need to seriously reevaluate your
There's
life.
one exception, and it's a sports metaphor. And you guys can't relate to this because the team that I'm a fan of, I'm depressed every year, the Cleveland Browns. So you got to feel for me, okay? I got to fight everybody because we don't win anything.
Right. But I'm just saying, it's just like I mean, it's good. I want to have honest debate back and forth, and you can talk to me about why I'm wrong, and I can talk to you about why I feel you're wrong. But to literally get all up in your feelings and actually go to war and actually get pissed off about that, okay, if you want to go there, that's very fine. But I'm not going there with you. It's not going to happen if you don't believe me. That's fine.
Yeah.
So look, I want to
have the conversations, not the fights.
I want to bring something up real quick that Trent said in the comments, right? He said that people fight harder or attack or defend tech for free. Like they defend these companies basically for 100% for free. And they're not getting anything. They don't even have a job. And look, half of the time we know, and let's be honest, we know a lot of these people are kids or teenagers who getting free phones from their parents or their parents are on payment plans or whatever, especially here in the U.S. I mean, 90% of people are probably on a payment plan here in the U.S. anyways. So, when you become a fanboy of whatever brand, then you become biased. So when you hear something negative about another company, you post about it, you talk about it, you just rant about it on and on and on and on. Then you have your other ones who fall back behind you who's saying the same thing because y'all all on the same playing field. Y'all both biased and want to see Apple be better than Samsung and Google and OnePlus and whoever in everything. You want Apple to exceed everything. You want Samsung to be better than everything. You want Google to be better than everyone. It's just that that's how fanboys are, and they're just so strong on that. So they attack you, they attack your integrity, they attack everything because they're upset, especially if your company is doing better at something than their company actually doing. And they hate that. That's why a lot of these
they're a business.
Android comparison. Yeah.
And they're making and you're only helping them. You're not hurting them. I mean, and if you're talking good about one, at the end of the day, they're a business. They're going to make money. They don't care about the little guys. I mean, they act like they do, but they probably really don't.
But I mean, it's the same situation with Samsung, when they release ads mocking Apple for their products. It's one of these situations where, and I understand that people are passionate about certain brands. And like on Twitter, for those of you who are on Twitter and follow us, thank you very much. But on Twitter, it's a bit of a nightmare.
What the fuck is
like-
this weird shit? And
What is that
it's
little
creepy
emoji
as
from-
hell, man. It's real time.
The random memes
As
that
soon as she
pop
said,
up.
"Thank
It's
you,"
AI.
I went,
It's AI.
Well,
it's
I'm blowing open stuff
AI.
on Twitter right
it's
now.
freaking me out a little bit.
I
I'm
know.
not gonna lie. It's been a
Look,
little-
wait, what is that?
What?
Hey, watch
a
this.
little
Watch
kid
this.
saying,
Watch this.
It's a little weird.
You see that?
Yes.
I made
Emoji
it
rain.
rain.
I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about it. It's
I'm
weird.
sorry.
It's weird. I don't know, man.
This is
Okay.
ridiculous.
I almost feel like it's listening to what we say and then boom, just like, there we go. Let's just drop some emojis from the sky. I think that was Tuna though.
No,
what I was going to say is,
no. I don't
Throw
make it
down stuff
rain.
in the chat with hearts and laughing and clapping emojis. I'm like,
Yeah, I'm making it.
Yeah.
It's called making it rain. We don't throw money out. We just drop emojis. That's what we do here.
King just said
it
to
says
follow
turn
him
on
on
emojis.
Twitter.
yeah.
See, that stuff I can't say here. I'm sorry. I'm with
Hey,
Dalevon
man,
there.
only King could get away
Yes,
with that, bro.
Only King.
Listen, I just hope the photo he takes is AI generated because I don't know. I don't know why he's
Hey,
got packing
man.
down there. But anyway, getting back to what I was saying, like
Yeah,
it's no different than when a company makes fun of another company for a release. And
Right.
Samsung's known for making fun of Apple with their product releases. You may remember all the charging videos and viral videos that came out about how Samsung's batteries lasted longer than the iPhone. The point I'm getting at is that, it doesn't matter whether it's the companies doing it. It doesn't matter whether it's the people that are giving phones for free or if it's just some diehard loyal Apple fan most of the time coming out and saying, your shit's wrong. Your product's garbage. Our product's better. I think, Sam, you've said this a few times, just, use whatever the fuck you like, like whatever you feel works best in your world, like the Surface Duo or like
I tried to take a moon
whatever.
picture. It didn't turn out well. Who knew?
Didn't turn out like that, eh?
It's not so much algorithming and that, it's like, it didn't work out. Well, yeah,
It was
I mean,
more
like,
Orby.
it
Like a
actually was
glowing
just
orb?
kind of a bit. You know what it would look like? It looked like those little. I don't have dryer sheets, the little wool balls that you put in your dryer.
Yeah.
It looked like I took a
Yeah,
picture
yeah.
of that was on the dresser. I was like,
Nice.
yeah, it was pretty rough. Very nice.
Hey, nice.
I took.
I wanna say, like, for a lot of people-
very picture. It's gonna
Uh-oh,
give
did
it-
we lose?
very
We
nice.
lost. Oh, okay. I almost lost y'all for a minute.
Yeah. So
I want to.
Yeah, I use the phone I like, or the device I like, or the tablet, or the
Mhm.
computer. And if people want to hate on it, that's fine. I don't care.
I want to say for a lot of people, it's not even about the device anymore. It's just personal to everyone when it comes to like tech in general, because I feel like when their company is exceeding in things, that's what matters most than them actually using a product itself. Because that's kind of like what
Yeah.
you see on Twitter the most. You see people ranting like, okay, I gotta bring up Apple, and I hate to do it because everyone knows Apple's status is high. So when Apple numbers are high, benchmarks, when their sales are high, when everything is good, everything is
Right.
going, they at the top, right? You have those type of users who love bragging about it as if it's
Yes.
their company, as if they own it, as if, like they have a piece of Apple or something, or Tim Cook is their uncle or their brother
Yeah.
or some type of
The
relation.
diehard
And they're
fans.
yeah. And it don't even be about the phone anymore. It just be about what that company, what they're achieving. And I'm sitting here
Yeah.
like, what are your achievements? What are you doing? Like, what
what
are
are you
you
getting
doing
out
in
of it?
life? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not even what you're getting out of it. What are your achievements in life? You're sitting here bragging about another company. What are your
Right.
achievements in life?
And,
And like I say, it's personal. Is that personal for people?
and
And
that's
it's not
it.
even about the tech anymore.
And that's
Yeah.
the unfortunate byproduct of turning
Mhm.
a device into a lifestyle brand.
Yes.
Right. Then it
100%.
because that's what you're going to get. You're going to get people who now their identity is now wrapped up in some tech or a car.
Mhm.
I mean, we've been
Yeah.
doing it with cars for years. How many people get really wrapped up in I'm a Dodge guy, I'm a Ford guy, I'm a Mustang guy, I'm a whatever, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
look how people act about their vehicles. And at the end of the day, a vehicle is essentially just transportation, right? I mean,
Yeah.
at its core,
That's it.
right? But I mean, you'll have
Mhm.
people that will get into fistfights over if you're a Dodge truck guy or a Chevy truck guy or a Ford truck guy. I mean,
Tech is turning into politics or sports.
I mean,
Once you pick a side, you're not changing. You're
Right,
not. It's like
Yeah.
I'm not going to convince you. If you're an iPhone guy, I'm not going to say, "Hey Sam, I'm going to convince you." No, you're already made up your decision. You're not going to change.
Yeah.
People just need to
But-
calm
I
down.
mean, that's what I'm saying. But with Apple, I think it's a little bit different because it's now transcended into
Life.
A lifestyle.
Well, and it's personally identifiable to my psyche. Like this identifies me. Yeah. And that's exactly what Apple was targeting. And the problem is be careful what you wish for because you're going to get it. Because now you're going to have legions of people who are now in that mindset. And I think that's what you're going to get. And if you're okay with that, that's cool. But
are you talking about iSheep? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You know, and here's the thing, and this is not against you two, but I hate that phrase in general.
I know. I'm just messing.
No, and again, I'm not defending. I'm not attacking you for saying it. I'm just saying, but just in general, it's like you can't complain about the fact that we're leveraging labels to label other people when you're using iSheep because it sounds like you're cutting somebody down because they decide that they want to be an Apple fan. Fine, because at the end of the day, we all should just love our tech. But I mean, I think that's what it is. I think Apple's transcended the tech space. They're the first technology, really, when it came to mobile personal computing devices, to really. They leveraged it into this makes me feel better about me because I am now belong to a group, and it's beyond the capability.
It's not just Apple though. Xiaomi did this for years. They built a following, and granted, not here in the U.S., but they built a following, and people now they have every product under the sun. I think that's what companies want to do because then you have those legions of people that will buy anything, no matter what it is, like a cleaning cloth or a
vacuum cleaner or whatever.
Yeah,
you can leverage those devices because then your whole house turns into because then people come over and say, oh, you have a vacuum cleaner? That's a what is that? And then you can talk. It's getting it into the. Remember, it's marketing is in the hearts and minds and the voices, right? It's let the market, let the device. If you have a whole house full of Samsung stuff, you're going to proselytize about how it works, especially if it works for your workflow. You're going to tell others, and that's the most effective marketing tool at all is word of mouth, even at the lower level.
It really is. And I want to say, like, when I was a little bit younger, and I'm old now. Okay, I'm old. It's okay. It's okay.
Are you fucking because you ain't that goddamn old.
I knew that was coming.
Wow.
But when I was younger, and I would say around the time, like the first generation iPhones, like the first iPhone and maybe the 3GS, I will admit at some point in my life, I wanted to get an iPhone because it was a growing popularity type of device. And I wanted to like feel like I fitted in with the crowd. So I did get it. And then I instantly realized that I was too much of a tech nerd for an iPhone. iPhone was so limited and bare bone that I could not function with it at all because I was coming from Windows. And the Windows phone back in the days, you can hack and do everything almost with that phone. It's like a mini computer in your hand. So, when I got the iPhone, I realized that this was not for me. I was like, I can't do this, too limited because I'm like really into tech. I can't, this is a phone. This is like my house phone that I use. That's what it felt like to me. So, I went over to Android and everything like that. But yes, Apple has created that lifestyle. And it started a long time ago because I even felt like I needed an iPhone to fit in with the crowd. And this is before iMessage and FaceTime even was even popular at the time. We still was using SMS and we still was using two ways and beepers at the time.
Oh, yeah.
So,
that's bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Message. Did you see that video on TikTok that not that everyone listened to it, but there was something I posted it was a comedian talking about how people are not racist. What is it? I forget how he worded it, but people who use iMessage are like ostracizing those who use anything else but iMessage.
Yeah. So
you see that? It was hilarious.
It was on my duty belt, so whenever I make traffic stops, it was right in the driver's ear, like it's right there, right? Yeah. And of course, with Nextel, you couldn't stop the message. Right. So my buddies would be fucking with us. They'd be like, so I'd be on a traffic stop and be right in somebody's ear and he'd go, oh, yeah. I'm like, people look up at me and I go, hi, can I have your driver's license? Like, why is that? Did somebody say, oh, yeah, that's I mean, I was like, oh, God. And so I used to have to just leave in the car because you couldn't stop the message and the people would just be, it was way too easy to mess with everybody else. If you're,
I'm going to assume there was no body cams at that time either, right?
Well, no, this was 2001, so no. But it was
body cams catch everything now. You can't do anything with that now.
But actually, what I'm more weird about is Michael Peppertech has been uber quiet for the last 10 minutes, and it's weirding me out. So
his nails are clean, though.
I
need me some Michael Peppertech. Come on, man. Get in here and get some.
Hey, Mike, they got an AI that can clean your nails, right? I'm just saying, bro.
I got the AFib machine out, and we'll hook it up to your chat. We'll get you going again.
Go, Mike.
Listen, I don't know if you noticed,
Uh-oh.
how people are. I've noticed lately people always saying like Apple fans are this way and that way, and I think it depends on who you hang around because there's a lot of criticism of Apple right now, in particular like the whole discussion with the charging in the EU,
Yes.
some of the charging stuff that's on, which realistically every company has it. You know, the smart charging features that are on. It's just like and they're on by default on every company. It's just I think because Apple called it environmental charging or calls it something different, it got brought into the discussion. It is what it is. It's like if the people on one side find a feature that other company has that they find like does something that they don't really want, they criticize it. It comes from both sides of the fence. I mean, holy smokes, you want to set people off. You have anybody. You still have people that are like up in arms because BlackBerry's gone. You still have people like
I'm still
you
personally
still have
worried about
people that
BlackBerry.
discuss.
Yeah.
It sucks.
You still
Like,
have
just
people that discuss how how Apple stole the graphical user interface from Xerox. I mean, you have people living. That's like
Yeah.
back in the '70s. But what your point about like the whole when you were talking about the lifestyle thing, I think all companies are now. They all have
Yeah.
watches
They're
and
lifestyle
phones,
brands.
and they have ecosystems. I mean, Google's ecosystem technically transcends all brands in a way, like Google Photos, Gmail,
Yeah.
their whole app suite for like business, personal use, Drive backup. Like if you think about it, Google Drive has been around for many many years, and people use that. My family, we use that so that it doesn't matter like the whole iMessage thing to me is funny because my parents never really noticed because I always just like, oh, here, I'm just gonna add the photo of my son to the album that's listed his name on
Mhm.
iCloud Photos and Google Photo, and everybody gets it. It doesn't matter. So I'm never really sending photos and videos within messages because the other thing about that is so you have to back those up and save those. And then you end up with double redundant storage because it stores within your messaging app plus
Yeah.
you saved up on your device. So to make it easier for everybody, I just sent them the link. They're invited once. They don't have to download it. They don't have to like miss the
Yeah.
message. It goes in there. When they comment on it, everybody sees it, and that's like I've been doing that for forever. I mean, it makes you think of the days when like you used to send out Christmas. People would send out Christmas cards, right? Some people still do that. They send that Christmas card to all their family, and then their family sending
Mhm.
them. It's the same kind of thing, you know. You have your shared albums. So for me, that's never really mattered, and my parents don't even notice half the times. I've switched phones, and they haven't noticed because I text them or I call them. They don't care what color
Yeah.
bubble it is. They're not doing like liking your message. They're not
It's a
doing any
younger
of that. And
generational
even
thing,
my
Well,
I
siblings,
believe.
again,
even my
it's
siblings though.
I see it with the Android community or people use Android. Apple users have a tendency to weaponize and ostracize more than Apple. If you're using a
Oh
blue
yeah.
bubble, Android
Yeah.
people go, whatever, I don't care. But if you're using,
Yeah.
I mean, I guarantee you don't have many people on videos. And maybe there are these people. You got to find them and put them on video. Go, oh, Android people who are using Android going, oh, Apple, iPhone. If I see a blue bubble, fuck, I'm not dating that guy. Apple,
Yeah.
Android people like, hey, if she's willing to let me date her, I'm probably gonna smash. Right? That's pretty much how it's gonna go, right? So I get they are lifestyle brands, but I don't think that comparison is gonna work. You're not gonna sell me on it. I think
Yeah, but also if you
Well,
apparently
one,
according to popular media, if you use an iPhone, you're driving a Ferrari, and if you're an Android user, you're driving a beat up
well, the
Dodge
peasant,
Colt from
it's the peasant,
1942.
right?
So
That's what it is. That's the
I mean, the
But
narrative is
using
still
Android
the
for a
narrative.
peasant.
Yeah,
So
that
it's like
narrative about Android users is poor and iPhone
it's
users are rich. That is
right. And
still a thing
so
it's
right
Yeah.
stupid.
now.
but I do agree with Michael.
Yeah.
I think they are all lifestyle brands. I just don't think when it comes
Yeah.
to their actual user base, I think that narrative isn't one to one.
Yeah, it,
Yeah.
it really
Speaking
applies
of
to
But
Apple
on
the
the
most.
Android side, there is
Just-
no lifestyle brand. I mean, Google's close, Samsung might be close, but I don't think there's actually
Well,
a.
I think Pixel and Samsung are pretty close.
They're close, but Apple's
Yeah.
got. I mean,
the,
it's probably cornered the market in the U.S. at least for
I,
that kind
I
of
think
stuff.
Google is
the
trying to more
funny
so
thing
tackle
though,
the homes than anything and not
Right,
really more
exactly.
like the mobile
Yeah.
market itself. Yeah. So,
But I think
I
Google's
actually dealt with something interesting recently because I was having issues with some things with RCS and some weird things where it like kept wanting to turn on and off. So I ended up putting my main number back in my iPhone because it doesn't really matter. I don't really. It's
mhm.
literally like those few people that I'm calling or texting or whatever. It's just I was having problems where messages just weren't coming through. When I switched my SIM card back over, I didn't turn off Google Chat, and so the people that had Android uh, phones, when like our apartment manager, I was having to message her, she responded and it went to the old device because it's still linked, kind of like how when you switch iMessage. So now RCS has the opposite effect. It's actually doing both things. So now you have like the issue of like, okay, what device is the other person using? Because if they have chat on and you don't disable it, and then you go back to using an iPhone, you're actually having it. It's like they flipped the script in a way, but it happens on
Yeah.
both sides now. So it depends. So I carry two phones, and it doesn't matter. I use Telegram, I use Facebook Messenger, I message with my parents and my siblings, and my sister has an Android, and they don't. None of them care. But it's funny. It is
Yeah.
a generational thing. But I think even that's changed because more and more younger people are getting on and using like Facebook Messenger, so it doesn't require you to have a Facebook account anymore. Or
Yes.
using like
Yeah.
Instagram for messaging and Snapchat, they're using other apps. So iMessage, I think, is starting to actually lose its. I mean, you look at the top apps that are using iMessage isn't even in the top 10 anymore.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah, you
it's an
can think about that.
interesting
and I
thing
guess my
with that.
question
And
is
it's
that compared
shifting.
to a global engagement though?
Right.
That's like
Yeah.
that's in the U.S. That's like in the U.S. and globally.
I
Like they're
can't
starting
imagine
to
that in the
lose their
US
market.
that iMessage is number 10 in the US.
You know,
Well,
That's
in the
impossible.
world, they're not in the
it,
top 10. In the U.S., they're dropping down,
it's
though. They're not even in the top
I,
anymore because it's like
yeah, they're not even
people,
in the top globally at all. Like they're not even on that list at all.
You know what?
and
I think
even in
It,
the
it's
U.S.,
Sunburst
they're not even up
Sunburst
it's
need to
there
because
get
it's
everyone
not.
anymore.
over.
If
Sunburst for the
iMessage was
win.
universal, if it was
Oh,
universal, I think that it could be at the
yeah.
top, but it's not, and that's the
Sunburst.
That right
problem.
there, I think, and that's where I
Yeah.
think where we're really going to see Apple move is if when their engagement gets so shitty that they globally, when it comes to messaging, that's what's going to
Mhm.
break them open. Where they're going to open that up to globally, and then you're going to watch that engagement. That's what's
Yeah.
going to push
I
them.
mean,
It's all
if it was,
Cupertino cares about is how the dollars work. Man, follow the money. That's
yeah,
every company on planet Earth. It has nothing to
yeah.
do with you. Follow the money. Once Apple realizes their iMessage platform is damn near dead last as far as engagement, that's when they'll
Hmm.
go, well, we probably got to open this up and we need to come with a homegrown first party app to make this universal and just
And
wipe
they
it all.
do.
Yeah.
iPhone eventually opens up their stuff. I mean, they're going to go
Right.
USB
So
Type C. They'll make
we
it
have to
different, but
Well,
they have to. And the EU's forcing them to do a lot of this stuff, which is good. I think it makes it
well,
easier for everyone.
Yeah.
The Surface is doing it, and it's going to be coming native thing across all Windows devices once they, kind of perfect it on there. But if you have a Surface, iCloud now integrates natively
Yep.
within like the basic primary of the OS, and also
Hmm.
now messaging through like the linking your phone, you can actually
Yeah.
My Samsung.
reply
Yeah.
through from an iPhone now. Like
Yeah.
from an iPhone though, too, it's linked into it. The thing is, I think it's just taken this long for the APIs to be used because their iMessage API and like iCloud APIs have been around for years. It's just the developers I don't think wanted to do it, but now that I think the Surface line is becoming more and more popular, if you think about the fact that it's not just a tablet, they've expanded, and in the
Yeah.
particular in the business realm, and to keep things like more secure, they need to support all the devices because
Yeah.
the real issue is like for example, for the Michigan State Police,
Mhm.
you don't know what device somebody's going to use anymore, and they no long and they want to make sure that it's going to link up through things. So if they send somebody home with a Windows laptop to do their work, and they're going to send them with an iPhone or an Android phone or whatever phone they choose, that all links up and it's secured as to the device. I think that's important to integrate that. So if I take a photo of a land plot, and I have those GPS coordinates from each corner of a land plot, and I need to message that. The fact that that photo
Hmm.
taken on the iPhone links through iCloud and is native
Hmm.
on that Windows machine, and then I can send that out through like secured email to
Hmm.
as a if you were working as a state employee is significant. I think Apple's realized that
Yeah.
they're not going to get people to buy MacBooks necessarily because Windows 7 is still those the
Well,
government's still using Windows
yeah.
7
Well, and
on
also
Right.
because
Yeah.
there's no
like
such thing as Apple servers.
Yeah.
True.
There aren't.
there used to be.
There just aren't. And then like they're gonna and if they're anything, they're gonna go if they can't use Windows, they're gonna leverage Linux. So Apple's lost that game and they're gonna lose the government and financial space. They just lost it. And also, I have an iPhone. Guess what my iPhone does? None of the native apps work. It's all Teams, it's all Outlook, it's everything else. Because Microsoft finally decided, and this is what people get pissed about Satya Nadella, but should be happy about, is he finally got said, look, we have to be a agnostic platform and engage all things. That's it. That means Windows Phone's going to have to die. And for people like me, that hurts. Zune's going to die, right? We can't be that. We have to be all things to all people, because that's where you're going to win. You're going to win because now, like, look at Surface's vision. That vision 5 years ago, or under Ballmer, that vision does not exist and never existed, right? And so you get both, right? You get Satya is going to kill your beloved Windows Phone, which is my beloved Windows Phone. But look at what, like Michael just talked about. Look at Surface's leverage, and look at Android, iOS integrating directly into the Surface, like into an OS. That's crazy talk. That talk 5 years ago is insanity. So
well,
it is.
It's interesting because Apple is, if you look at their history of things, people think that they're closed off, and realistically, they've wanted to be open. But like when they did the iMessage protocol, where they talked about like, oh, we want to do this so that you're not stuck on your carrier charging you for SMS. None of the other companies agreed to like the method of it, so then iMessage just became an iPhone thing. Same thing happened kind of with some of the other stuff, and then the other companies developed their own thing, and now they've got to work their way back together, and it's a struggle because you have all these different variants. And so like people get mad at Apple for that, but also if you look at it, like even USB-C as a standard was supposed to be standardized, and still up until USB 4 and Thunderbolt 4 wasn't. There was no standardization of data speeds or video output, or in 2020 was the first year that they actually technically was a standardization of those protocols. And like messaging, even RCS has been around since what, the 90s?
Yeah, but look, this is the thing.
But there's no standardization of it, and now there is. So now they can work together. Matter protocol. Once these companies all sit down, Qualcomm sits down, Apple sat down with Google and Microsoft and talked about, and Amazon and several of the other companies and talked about, Matter integration. That's a huge thing. Find My has been open for many years. Was it Bose uses the Find My network?
Microsoft on the store. It's an app you can download and install. iTunes of all things. It's like,
unfortunately, Apple can't force them to integrate it. Now, if an Android company comes out with something like, well, for example, Google comes out with something and says we're going to make this work well. Well, it's easy because every Android device can integrate it. Where iOS, it's like, well, Google has to make it work, and then they have
to. We have news. Darren, we have other news. Let's go. What's up next? What's the next thing?
I was just going to say, Mike hit the nail on the head, because I actually just wanted to pivot into Google just for a few minutes here, because another big thing that happened this week, besides all of the chaos around Samsung, was Pixel 8 leaks and Pixel Fold leaks. So Dalevon is our Pixel 7A.
Don't forget the 7A, Darren. The 7A.
Come on.
7A. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Oh, the Pixel, because that's.
Thank you.
It's March.
I hope the Fold has. I hope that Fold has an IP rating with all the leaks.
I mean, it's gonna.
Michael Pepper
have an IP rating.
You can tip
it. Man, I work directly for Google. Let me tell you, I work directly for them. And
I thought you did. Yeah, I thought you did.
Yeah, I'm like Loki. I'm like Masad. I like work for Google. I'm all the Googles. I'm the Googles.
No, but real talk. Let's go through the gauntlet.
All right, let's go, man.
All right, Pixel 7a. First of all, thoughts?
Dude, dope phone for that. If that price point's at $399, $429, that is killer.
Day one, pre-ordering. Say nothing else. Yeah. Say nothing else. Get it. I'll do nothing else.
All right. Well, hey. Speaking of the Pixel 7a, before you go to the 8, did you see there was an article that said, I guess the Apple's working on the new SE 10 or whatever it is, and they're saying they're going to compete directly with Android because it's going to be sub $500. Well, all SEs were sub $500.
Hey man, look, man, no Android phone is competing with Apple, and no Apple iPhone is competing with Android phone. They're on two different operating systems, two different ecosystems, two different everything.
But you work for Google, and you're biased.
Google.
Are they going to stick with the seven camera housing and the module and the candy bar? Or are they going to want to change it just a bit? Or
It looks
I don't know.
like
I don't know if I should
we're just
tell
going
y'all
to
that.
do 3 and fuck it. That's what we're going to
But
do.
we plan on changing it just a little smidgety, just to give y'all a little
Yeah.
smidgety. That's what we plan on doing here.
It's going to be
No,
internals
it
update.
looks like
Is that an industry term, smidgety? I don't know.
Yeah,
Smidgety.
smidgety. We're gonna add that.
it
We're gonna
looks
add
like
that in the keynote.
it,
Wait, is it called keynote? We're gonna add that in the IO.
Copyright that.
E-I-E-I-O.
Copyright that. Smidgety. You better copyright that.
So
it
Sam,
looks
to
like
answer
they're
your
going
question,
more to the like 10R 11 series line. With the newer, removing Touch ID and going to something, and I think part of that is because R&D that, and also because of the wireless charging. Yes, the 7 and 8, like the 8 series, has wireless charging, but I think Apple wants to drop all of their devices with the new Qi standard. So it's easier to do that if they don't have the Touch ID module on the bottom, because that means
yeah,
they have to shift that module up so they can put it, because a smaller phone, so they can put that down, because the size of that is a pretty large
Whoa, back
diameter.
up. Google.
So in order to put that on there,
Google. Talking about Google.
And here's the thing. I only have one thing
but
to say.
yes,
Hashtag bring back Soli Radar. Just saying. God.
oh yes,
Bruh,
They get
I've
way
been
too
waiting
quick
on
on
that.
that.
I know
Way
they
too quick.
won't. It's like Google. It's like BlackBerry.
I like the
Google.
squeeze. The
Killed it.
squeeze for the assistant. I like that.
Oh my God, I missed that.
No,
That thing was amazing.
yeah,
no, it was not. If you had an HTC, it was fail. It's like the capacity. I hope Apple goes all in on the capacity. It's going to suck. I
It
can't.
doesn't matter. Like when you start technology, bro, you gotta keep at it to improve it.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
if
exactly.
you don't, you just give
Not
up
kill
on
it
it. But
after
you
a
got
year.
Only,
So,
You
Darren,
went
what do you
through it,
got? What's
but
been
yes.
going on? Tell me to answer my question.
So basically, Sam, just to answer your question, so basically, it's basically looks a lot like the 7. In the photos that I can see here,
Can
from
you
the
put it on
leak,
the screen?
I'll just share the screen.
you share?
Yeah, there you go.
do some share.
It looks a lot.
Thanks for
It
sharing.
looks a lot grayer
Grayer, like
to me,
It
as
looks-
in
it
like
looks
the
very similar.
colorway.
Smidgety different.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't look like the same kind of black that they had with the 7. I'm wondering if that's a slightly different shade.
It could be the camera
I
angle
don't
because
know.
I do product photography and I know like lighting is very
Yeah.
important and it can change the whole
Right.
phone color and everything
Yeah.
like that. So it's important to try to keep it as natural.
That's probably
This
pink for all
doesn't.
we know.
Yeah,
Yeah, it could
for
be.
real.
Yeah, just,
Right. The
yeah.
good news about it is
Or
that I
green.
heard that it's actually 90 hertz. And
Yeah.
I
Yes.
think for that
Yeah.
price, I might end up buying my family some Pixels because I really personally wouldn't want to give them the 30 hertz screen because I don't want to use that. And I know it's my mom. She
Yeah.
don't care. She don't know the difference. She's an average person. But
Yeah.
her having a tech son, I could not put that in her hands, knowing that.
Do
You
you
know what I'm saying?
realize the backlash
But-
Google will get if they don't put 90 hertz on there? Everyone's like, "Oh my god, $399 and it doesn't have 90
Bro.
hertz. What is wrong with them? It's
Yeah.
the worst phone ever invented."
Oh my
already
gosh, man. It
happened
was
once,
so
so-
bad. Yeah, but I mean, I feel like it should have had it up there anyways. I didn't care about the backlash. I think it was stupid too on that
Yes.
Yeah.
because for the price. But Google has been pricing these phones very cheap and giving us so much, and especially in
Yeah.
the software experience itself.
Well,
So
look at the
90 hertz
6A.
will set
It's
that.
$299.
Yeah.
The 6A is
Yeah,
$299.
that's what I'm saying. And then that means
Yeah.
like what? That means like 4 months later it's going to be like $100, $200,
Right.
like literally
Yeah.
under $200 probably. And that's even better.
Yeah.
Like getting a Pixel later is better than getting a Pixel when it first launched, to be honest with you. And
Right.
and that's the reality of it. I
Same
could go
with
buy my
Samsung,
mom
too.
or my stepdad a Pixel
Yeah.
6 right now for probably like $300 or less than that, literally.
Yep.
And they got a phone that'll
You
last
can
They're
them
all on
years.
sale
because-
right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You can
For
get
sure.
a Pixel. You can get a Pixel 7 Pro. If you don't mind doing Amazon Renewed, I saw one that was like $549 on there. I was like,
Nice.
that's
Yeah.
a pretty solid deal,
Yeah.
And then
It is
you're
a
not
lot.
on
10.
any
I'm buying
carrier,
10.
no activation.
I'm gonna make it rain pixels.
But
So,
I think
what do you have?
right now has solid deals
What's
too
wrong,
with like
Sam? You didn't like
trade-in. You
that?
can trade in like an iPhone. Like an iPhone 12 or newer and some like older Samsung devices and get like $799 off. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's one thing about Android.
I mean-
Generally, if you wait a little bit, the phones drop in price. And the bad part of that is the resale value isn't that great. But the general
I always
consumer
say
is
this.
hanging on to their phones for a long time
Yes.
anyway, so it
I
doesn't
say
matter.
for the buyer, it's bad. For the buyer, it's good. For the seller, it's bad.
Right.
And then for
Bad, yeah.
iPhone, for the seller, it's good. For the buyer, it's bad for iPhone. So it's like the
Yeah.
opposite. pretty much, because
Yeah.
you buy a used iPhone, you're going to be almost buying it at the price of a new one. You might as well buy a new one.
Well,
But
and
an
general
Android,
consumers are 2
I think,
years,
yes,
and they're
yeah,
turning them in, so
Yeah.
they don't care. Yeah,
absolutely.
exactly.
So I just think in the Android world, it's a lot better. I don't know who complains about that, right? Getting a last year flagship for almost like a dollar and a penny, and you're complaining.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, well, because I hear people a lot talk about how Android devices, they don't hold up their value. I don't care. That's a beneficial to me.
Exactly. Yeah, what does it
You know what I'm
matter?
saying?
Yeah.
Getting a last year flagship that's still good for another 3, 4, 5 years, and I'm getting it way cheaper than what it was at launch. That's insanely crazy. Even like the Ultras, the S22 and S23 Ultras, the what S23 Ultras is going to drop to about $800 some dollars, or
Yep.
somewhere around $700 real soon, and that's a blowout deal for a lot of people. And that's in the same year of release. That's not
You know what?
even next
The
year. That's in the
S23,
same year.
the
Yeah.
S23 you're
Yeah,
talking about. Yeah, but
yeah.
but
We already
do
know
you
it's going to drop.
are you going to pay a cheaper price for a phone that takes fake pictures? Come on,
Yes.
Oh, you're right about that. We don't.
Google.
Yeah,
True.
that's right. That's right. That's right.
Come on.
What about the
I,
8?
Does
So-
that need to be described? I mean, seriously, Tune. Come on, man. I mean,
I
Well,
apologize.
let's get back on this
curious
Pixel though,
to
because
see
we
my
talking
way
about
out.
Pixels right now. We in
Yeah.
Pixel land
Let's
right now.
talk-
So
yeah,
we can
it's all
talk
Pixel.
Dalevon's not letting
Right,
this
come
shit go.
on.
He's like a dog. We're on the Pixel.
So
Pixel 8.
Pixel 8, and now one of the biggest changes that I'm very impressed by, and I really hope this is not a rumor, going with the flat screen on the Pro model.
Yes.
So
Yes.
the 8, I think that might actually be the biggest upgrade for the
Nah.
whole fucking line. Like the flat screen on the 7
Nah.
was good. It's great. The 7 Pro is fine. It's not as curved
Nah, bruh.
as they
I don't like
describe.
it. I told
No,
them
me
when we was in
either.
the meeting, I said, don't do that curve again. They was about to throw me out the window and fire me. So I was like, all right, I shut up. So yeah,
How are
no,
you in
they
a
gotta
meeting?
get rid of the curve.
Aren't you working from home?
Hello.
No. Sometimes I drive down to McDonald's to get me a burger and some fries, and then I go, all right. And
Hey, I don't know why everyone hates curved screens. I
Is that
love
a
curved
cow?
screens.
No,
Curved screens
Alright,
didn't bother me
garbage.
at all.
I don't hate curves. I think we're done with it.
Oh, it's on.
I think we're
Yeah.
done with it. I mean,
For-
like,
Yeah.
remember the old note
Yeah.
with the curve, like I think we're
Yeah.
done. I think we really at
Yeah.
this
for
point,
me, the curved thing I've noticed is it's one of two things. One, it's hard to find a case that protects those sides unless it goes way up, and then it's hard to swipe in on. Like
Yes.
the fact that my Vivo X80 Pro I dropped within the first week and cracked it with a case on was because the curves of the sides so much, so the corners are protected, but it hit on that edge on
You
the
don't
Yes.
drop your
front
phone
edge of
then.
the
Come on.
screen. Well, it wasn't even on purpose. It was in my pocket. I was reaching for a different phone, and it caught the cameras. The camera bumps like
Look, I'm
caught
hearing
on each other, and I
excuses.
pulled it
You
out,
dropped it
and
on
I went,
purpose.
did you hear the pain in his voice?
Yes.
Fuck it, I was so in my pocket.
Oh, like this phone.
Have you ever dropped a phone and you're like, oh, I hope it didn't
Yeah,
break?
I dropped the phone.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
it's the worst
And
feeling in
I'm
the
like-
I
world.
think we all drop phones.
I dropped a major F bomb with the window open with my 4-year-old son right next to me, and he just looks at me like, "What's wrong, Dad?" And I was like,
My life is over, you
I held
fucking
it up.
ungrateful heathens.
But seriously
young.
though,
But-
I'm excited about the flat panel, and I'm excited that, and I was kind of hoping Google was going to do 2 pros like Apple, and pretty much,
Yeah.
and do like a smaller pro and a bigger pro, and give out the same features pretty much. And I guess you can exact same phone, just size is different and battery
Yeah.
size difference. That's it.
Why does
would
Google
be
do
really
that?
great if they did it.
Why do they do
I don't
that? They
even
have a
know why.
pro and have a regular one. If they shared the features, people would actually want the smaller phone. I don't buy the
Yeah,
smaller
I
phone
think
because the extra lens, the periscope lens, actually is beneficial to me. I like the actual
Yeah.
optical zoom.
I
as opposed to
like it
digital.
too.
How do they
Yeah.
how do they price that though? Because if you think about it, so like for example, let's go look at like the 7 and 7 Pro, right? You get has a price point in between, has the $300 in between, but
Yeah.
but then also that space is also filled partially with the higher capacity storage. So
Yes.
they would have to do what, like 700 and 800, and
Yeah, I
then
mean, they can still keep both phones under
they
1,000.
could do 600, and 700 for like the lower. like, how do they do that? They have to drop the regular
No,
one even
what
lower.
was the
Well,
Pixel?
Dalevon
What
on
was
the
the Pixel
board.
6?
Ask him.
They're going
Yeah. So the Pixel 6 launched at what, $599? I think was the Pixel 6
I
$599?
think so.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
$7.99.
so that could have easily been like $50 more to that, or it could have been $679 or something like that,
Exactly.
and that could have been a Pro. They don't have to even go, and then like the actual Pro could have stayed exactly where it was at. All they had to do was add what. They already they could have kept it at 90 hertz. Just say they did keep it at 90 hertz. That's fine, right? We don't care as long as 90 hertz or 120. We're fine with either one, right? But then they could have just added that telephoto camera. That would have been an extra $70 or $50 tagged onto that. Everybody would have probably bought that.
Yeah.
Literally, I would have bought that and been happy with that.
They're going to make more money on the smaller version by making it the same as the Pro. They'll actually make more money. Even though, according to the web, the Pixel Watch costs $132 to make.
None of that matters. They probably I'm all Pixel Fold.
Yeah,
I'm all in.
Yeah, I
don't know yet. With Google's track record, I love Google Pixel.
Oh, I don't care. I used the Duo for 3 fucking years. I mean, you kidding me? I'm all about paying.
The Duo got better over time.
$1,800 starting point. $1,800 starting point.
Yeah, man. Fuck it. I mean, these are.
I don't know, man.
I mean, come on.
Are you
paying $1,800 if you're going to AT&T, Verizon, or Sprint, or T-Mobile?
Well, that's exactly my point. I wonder if.
And here's the thing, and I love you, Darren, but this is where I'm going to go bullshit. Any American is not leveraging fucking $1,800. They're trading in, trading up, and they're leveraging, and they're getting a payment plan.
Wow.
So let's quit
Teenage Mutant Ninja
Americans
Turtles.
are walking in there going, oh, it's $1,800. I got to pay that out of pocket. Well, I guess I'll just go with the $500, Pixel 6A. Bull fucking shit.
Hey, look, it's not even just that. It's that the contract price. They're going to go with that contract price. If you if a person comes in there and they want a new phone, and you walk up as a T-Mobile customer or Verizon customer and say, worker, I'm sorry, and you be like, you can get this phone for almost $0 down, and you can walk out with it. They're more than likely going to look at those options right there. Like literally, it's about money for 99.99% of people in the U.S. Period.
Carrier deals win.
You gotta already be an iPhone person or a hardcore Samsung person or a Pixel person, I guess at this point, and walk into T-Mobile and know that this is what you want. Like you gotta be like, I want that new iPhone. I want that new Pixel.
Successful as a seller if people didn't have any trade-ins and there was no carrier deals or anything else. You think people are gonna rock a fucking $1,200 Pixel?
Nobody. That's nobody. Apple and all these companies are making it off of contracts.
They made it
I'm telling you
for people to entry, and then it's the pain of the actual purchase is minimized, if not eliminated. So it makes it a lot easier. So for maybe for people in Canada, or for that don't leverage those deals, or people who in the EU would walk into a boutique and maybe buy a phone. Yeah, $1,800 is a hard fucking pill to swallow. But
bro,
we're not there. I don't think we're there ever. Really.
No.
I think the rough part will be the difference though is like with Samsung with the Galaxy Fold, they give these huge amounts on trade-in. So you have some people that do the pre-order directly from Samsung. And then they can split the rest of it through their carrier or through like a firm or through whatever.
Yeah.
But here's going to be the issue. Google doesn't tend to give very good, apart from if you're going on like Google Fi, but like if you go directly to the Google website, to the store, the deals they give for trade-in on devices isn't very good. So you have an $1,800 device.
Pretty good. I thought last year was
going to be up to the carrier.
No. Yeah, I turned my wife $60 for the 7. I paid like $100 for the phone.
The problem is, like T-Mobile will only let you. They'll only at least depending on when you first start with them, depending on how many devices you have on there, and all sorts of things. But a lot of times they'll only let you finance like $700 of it. So you're gonna have to pay $1,100 up front for an $1,800 phone potentially. Then somebody's gonna say, "Nah, I'm not getting the Fold. I'll just pay that outright for the regular phone or whatever," or they'll have to go somewhere else. So it depends on your carrier too, because like
person. But Darren, are you still selling your Pixel?
I sold, buddy.
Fuck! I was gonna buy it.
Sorry, it's gone.
Hey,
you can buy mine because I've been secretly carrying an 8, so I can go ahead and give you this one if you want it.
He works for Google. He can get you a deal.
We'll talk later, Dalevon.
But Mike, what you said. I was gonna say what Mike said is true. What Mike said is true about the carrier thing, but the thing is that T-Mobile is going to do whatever they can to get you on their contract regardless. And I also want to mention that if you got decent credit with them, like me, I could walk in T-Mobile right now and go there when they close. Okay, but I could have went to T-Mobile and walked out of there with a fold and only pay the taxes because
Yep.
I have good credit.
Yeah.
But not everyone has to put that much money down to get it. But then they're gonna lock me into 3 years of
At
paying on that
$50 a
device.
month.
Yes, at $50 a month. So it really depends
Yeah.
on your credit, and then they'll determine how much you got to put down. Some people got to walk in there and spend the whole entire amount, depending on that phone or that credit or whatever. So it really depends. I've been with T-Mobile since forever, literally since forever. And my credit with them is A1. I can go in there and walk in and walk out with any phone with zero down, and I just got to pay the taxes. Whatever the taxes is on that device, I walk out the taxes, and then I'm stuck with this $50 or $40 or $30 a month added onto my phone bill, which I don't do.
Right.
Because I like Trent. He did a whole video on this a long time ago, and I guess he's now seen the light, which I respectfully respect that man for that. Because I seen the light a long time ago. I got myself away from the carriers because every time you go there, it's so convenient to be like, here, take this money, give me that phone. Now you got 2 or 3 phones on your account. $30 a piece, $50 a piece, and now your phone bill is like $200-$300, and that is ridiculous.
And I switch phones a lot, so if I go finance a phone 3 for 3 years, and next year I want to upgrade, I'm like, well, shit, I still owe $1,500 or $1,200 for the phone. I got to pay it off, then I got to unlock it.
Yeah,
I've done it a few times, but
like you have like TELUS or Rogers or Bell, right?
Yes.
So how do they pretty much have an American model? Or do they have like a
so basic, like the way that it works, it's very similar here. It's much more expensive here in Canada. When you're doing
shit. It's because your dollar doesn't mean anything.
Yeah,
it's maple syrup.
Yeah. So I mean, for you guys, you might pay $50 a month for a brand new phone. We're paying almost double. So, it'd be closer to probably 100, maybe even $120 for a fold. If it's like a brand new $2,400, which is what the conversion rate would be for the device, you're paying $100 a month for it.
Yeah.
Right?
Holy shit.
It's a 1.6 Canadian dollars to the US dollar, and then they have those added like the import, like some of those added fees on there. So it's about double.
So for me,
well, that's probably why they took guns away from everybody in Canada, because they'd be fucking pissed off that they're getting fleeced by these carriers. You can't have a handgun in Canada anymore. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, but don't they have like maple syrup chugging contests
when it comes to tech, right?
Yeah, we do.
Maple syrup. Come on.
Yeah,
right, they're just chugging maple syrup and going on hockey, and it's cool. Like, I love Canada.
No, but like, you see, that's why for me, I'm gonna end up buying it outright.
Well, yeah,
I'm gonna end up buying
it. In this situation, you're almost like leveraging. It's almost equal. It almost breaks.
I don't want to pay $100 a month for 3 years. Fuck that. It's not worth
my
time.
We $600 for a phone. Yeah, I'll pass.
Look, if I was Dalevon and worked for Google, I'd have the money to do it, but I don't work for Google, so.
Dalevon hookups.
And then you can fucking get a Pixel thing.
That's it.
Yeah, man.
Well, listen, aren't we all petitioning to get Dalevon on T-Pixel?
I secretly got the Pixel 9, but it's like a piece of paper that says Pixel 9.
I was going to tell you, so there's a guy I watch on YouTube. I mentioned his name before. He's not really on YouTube anymore. His name is Scott Peachy, and he's Team Pixel. And I remember I don't know how many times he'd be like, yeah, I don't have the Pixel 6 or the Pixel 5. And 6 months later, he's like, oh, I've had this phone for 3 months, and here's my review. I'm like, you son of a bitch.
I'm not going to say the name of the podcast.
Uh-oh.
Because we're on somebody else's show and it's rude. However, I'm pretty sure that me and Joe's podcast really helped is what really sealed the deal to get Dalevon hooked up. It was because
it's true.
Not only is that, we told them that on Twitter. By the way,
are you Team Pixel now or no? Seriously,
I'm not, man.
I didn't think so. Yeah,
we hooked him up. Man. We got him all.
They don't like me, man. I don't know.
Hey,
they don't like me,
I got approved for Team Palm Pre. Just got approved.
Nice.
I need to get on that team.
Wait.
Well, I need to get on somebody's team. I ain't on nobody's team.
I don't either.
For Lotus Notes, get the fuck out of here.
Well, hey, it was funny. On my channel, I got 500 subscribers. I'm giving away a bunch of Wise products, and I had like 7 DMs saying, "Oh, who's your hookup for Wise? I need to get the." I don't have a hookup. I paid for that crap myself. I beta test for people here and there.
Just be careful of those giveaways because you're going to get a whole bunch of fuckers coming out of the woodwork.
Oh, I know. I'm not asking. Hey, when I did this, I specifically said you even click on it. There's no way you can check out my channel, but you do not have to subscribe. I don't care about all that subscription shit. I'm just giving away stuff that I have sitting around that I don't need anymore.
People DMing you like crazy.
Oh yeah, I already had that.
The other thing
Yeah.
you can do if you really want to is you can. I've seen people where they'll say, "Well, you have to have been subscribed already to," because you can look and see how long somebody's subscribed. So some people will only do it if you've
Yeah.
been subscribed for like so many weeks or so
No,
long at the time, because
I
they
just
don't want
say mine
people
just says
subscribing,
all you gotta do is click on this
joining, and
link.
then leaving.
Yeah, all you gotta do is look at my Twitter and look at my YouTube. All you have to look at it. You don't even have to subscribe, and that's it.
And
I don't
Tuna
care.
said the only way you're going to be able to qualify for my giveaway is if you send me a King Sober dick pic.
Yes, true.
Then I will vote you in the drawing.
And Dalevon shirt and a Dalevon shirt.
And a Dalevon shirt. Hey, actually, look, real talk, yo. Everybody who's watching the stream right now, I am planning on giving away a Pixel this year for one of my giveaways. I'm gonna do two phones this year.
I need to buy your merch, dude. I need to get a new shirt. I don't have
the Pixel 9 you have already. That's cool.
Yeah. I was thinking about the 9 or the 10 maybe for the giveaway. I was waiting. I don't know if y'all ready for that fire right now, but yeah, I'm gonna do it though. Basically for my actual subscribers, the ones that actually pay, because I watch not Trench Stream. I watch I forgot his stream. I can't think of his name right now. But anyways, I watched his stream. Technically T. Thank you, Mike. You already knew.
Yeah.
And I seen how he was doing his giveaway, and I seen how people were trying to subscribe to him just because they wanted to be part of that giveaway. And I think I want genuine people that's on my channel that watch me every day to be the ones that benefit from this giveaway. So, I hate to throw a price up there though, but I did set it at the lowest I possibly can, which was 99 cents to subscribe to my channel. And then I would make my video when I do the giveaway, and I would make sure that it's subscribers only can see it. So anybody who just coming through my channel won't even see it unless you're actually subscribed. So those ones
the members only,
as an enter, and they will be able to enter the giveaway. So it'll if I got 6 people, it's gonna be between 6 people. You know what I'm saying? So
there's a little bit of advice. A little bit of advice. Don't do what Roddy did. Right? He did an OnlyFans giveaway. And I'll just tell you, it was the worst. It was the worst thing I ever won.
I'll be honest. My giveaway has not produced maybe 4 new subscribers, but I'm tiny, so that's probably why. I probably have.
Give it time, buddy. Being on this podcast makes you start.
Yeah.
The ball starts rolling.
I'll be honest. I don't give a crap who wins this. I just want to get rid. I want to get rid of this stuff and move on.
What the heck?
Yeah, I feel you.
Is that me?
Not King off of ours.
My
stuff,
God.
and it doesn't do anything. Only.
I'm not gonna lie. Wow. I absolutely love the automatically generated memes. They're hilarious to me.
We need to talk to Oprah about their AI. I'm blowing this up on Twitter. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
No way.
There you go.
So you wanna
cases? Those are cases.
Those are S23 plus cases, all right?
I don't have it.
I see you down there.
If you're willing to give away an OG case,
yes, sir.
Actually,
Sam, I have a leather one.
Yeah, I won a case from Shane Craig. I actually won a no rev for my Duo 2.
Oh, that's nice. He's big on the Duos too.
And
that's what I got.
Like customize it. It's like customized, and then I broke my Duo 2, so now it's sitting in the drawer. And eventually one day I'll get a Duo 2. That case was fly, dude. I love that shit. It was great.
Yeah. No rev does. They do good stuff. Nice case.
Well, there's that stuff.
All right. Well, listen.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Very nice. On that note, we are going to wrap for this evening, guys. Thank you very much for joining me, Sam, Tuna, Mike, Dalevon. You guys are legends. I appreciate you guys being here tonight. And for everybody at home, we are live every Thursday, 7:30 p.m. On YouTube. You can catch all these guys on Twitter, on their respective YouTube channels, and make sure you hit that like, subscribe button. We will send you out a king dick pic or whatever you like if you do.
We aren't sending you shit.
Yeah, well, I'm not sending
you a
dick. King will be sending it out, not me. But yeah, on that note, guys, I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. Have a good evening, and we'll catch you on the next one.